My dear fellow pilgrims, as we would have noticed, the first few verses of the Lord's Prayer focus on God. And God should always occupy the center. He should always be our focal point. In those verses, God is honored, God is glorified, as any prayer should begin by adoration, by an expression of deep love and respect for God. In Matthew 6, verses 11, give us today our daily bread. We are taught to pray for ourselves. Focus turns to us from this verse. Here we learn that while prayer is about adoration, devotion, and worship, prayer is also about petition. It is also about an appeal in respect of a particular cause. Approaching God and making known to Him our requests for His provision of the basic needs of life is in itself a very intense act of worship. In fact, such is to act openly and without guilt in declaring that God, I cannot make it without you. I rely on you, Lord. 3 lessons to lift from this prayer. Firstly is the lesson of total dependence of God. To say, give us today our daily bread, is to make an admission of our own weaknesses and limitations, acknowledging therefore the truth that God is able where we are not. In this verse, we do not rest in our own ability, but we proclaim our faith in God's power to meet our needs. Anything we have, all that we are, is as a result of the gracious working of God in our lives. God whom we trust and whom we depend on. The second lesson in this prayer is that we do not pray for needs that have not yet arisen. Listen carefully to the words in this verse. Give us today our daily bread. Paraphrased, this means, Lord, take care of us one day at a time. Give us day by day those things that are necessary for life. In fact, it is at the end of this very chapter that Jesus teaches we are not to worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. He says each day has enough trouble of its own. So we pray for fresh bread and new bread for the nourishment of our daily needs. Lastly is the inclusivity of this prayer. 2 key words that speak to the communality of this prayer: us and our. In other words, there is no selfishness in prayer. Coming before God in prayer is not merely or only about me or my needs, but supplication should take others into account. Intercession is what it is called. So we pray on behalf of others, we pray for one another. May the good Lord bless us as we hold onto the promise of His provision for our daily needs.